Hi there, this is Scott. This is the second attempted version of this video. Um, Beginnings, let's see. Watching Super Friends cartoons, watching The Incredible Hulk on TV, um, going to see Superman at the movie theater, the 1978 version, not the cruddy 2006 version, yuck. Watching Batman, 1989 version, Tim Burton, nice movie. But yeah, it started with the watching the superheroes on TV and the movies. Didn't really have any interest in buying comics at the time. I was mostly into trading cards, and you know how that ended up. Um, I think I started buying comics about 1979, 1980. Um, my first one was a Batman 327. It had Two-Face on it. I remember reading about him before, and I thought that's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good going. So I bought that one. After that, it was just buy one every once in a while. Most of my comics reading habit started with the trade paperbacks that Marvel put out back in the 70s. There was Bring On the Bad Guys. There was Superhero Battles. There was the Marvel Women. There was Origins of Marvel Comics. And there was Son of Origins of Marvel Comics. Anyway, in Son of Origins of Marvel Comics, there was a section devoted to Daredevil. As you can see, there's a Daredevil in front of your screen here. And I really took to this guy. I don't know why. He wasn't that spectacular. He didn't shoot webs. He didn't bend steel. He was an acrobat. But he had one thing going for him. Or going against him, I should say. He's blind. He can't see. He relies on his radar sense to get around. And that kind of just got me in the feels, you know. A blind person. I'll explain later. So I read all those, and I read the of course I read the Shazam 40s to the 80s or 70s or whatever it was, and Batman 40s to the 80s and all that. But I kept getting drawn back to Marvel Comics. They seemed a little more real to me. I didn't really like the plasticity of Superman always beating up the bad guys, no matter what. You know, the Marvel people had problems. They went bankrupt. They couldn't pay their rent. They got injured. They broke their arms. They had colds. That was pretty cool to me. So getting back to this Daredevil picture here. In my history, my family history, my ancestors, I should say, a lot of them are nearsighted, farsighted, or can't see at all. In my case, I am very nearsighted, and my dad, born blind, yes, blind. He got around the hard way. um, he went to the school for the blind, um, so I learned how to get around with a cane and everything. And I told him one day about this guy named Daredevil, and he goes, "Oh, I remember him. He was half blue, half red, and he ran around with these punks." And I said, "No, Dad. There's a Marvel Comics version of Daredevil, and he has a red suit, and he has a cane, and he's an acrobat too, but he's blind." And my dad goes, "No way. There's a blind superhero out there." And I said, "Yeah, Dad. There's a blind superhero out there." So he thought that was pretty cool. And then he started to tell me about all the about the comics and stuff that he read as a kid. Not read, but read to him as a kid. Um, he based everything on what people would tell him, about colors. To red to him is just red, R-E-D. It's not the color that we see in front of us now. But he overcame a lot of obstacles, and I consider him one of my top 5 heroes, if not the top 2. Um, for overcoming a lot of problems in his life. Excuse me, it's okay, don't tear it up here. Anyway, he was telling me about all these superheroes that he grew up with as a kid, and he told me about the movie serials that he went to go see, not see real see, but as a teenager. So it turns out that loving comics and superhero stuff runs in the family. At least on my dad's side of the family. So he was telling me about all the comics he had as a kid, and found out his mom had thrown the box away that he had acquired some time ago, and he just got a little nostalgic, and we started bonding a little better that way, And then I asked him about all these other guys, from the 40s and 50s, the superheroes from there, and it was pretty cool to find out about some of the others, the Destroyer, Dynamite, the Miss America, the Amora, the stuff in the 50s, or 40s, 50s, and so he encouraged me to pursue my hobby, and I started buying more and more comics. Into, I'd say, from 82 up to 89, I was a constant comic buyer. I had over 700 or so by 1989. My closet was getting kind of full. My dressers were getting overflowing. Some of them were bagged and boarded. Some of them were just readers, And after high school, I decided to sell my collection at one time. So I sold them to a friend of mine for about $200 and some video games. Nintendo was starting to get really big by then. So, cut to, um, I would say late 90s. I started reading them again. I go to the library and check out a couple books and read those and started wanting to get comics again. So I started my collection again. And from 98 up to 2016, I had amassed 14 long boxes of various things. Daredevil, The Flash, Captain America, Spider-Man, the Green Lantern, the Justice League, Batman, um, the Flash, and I would tell you again, or tell you about that later on. What happened to those? So this is my origin story.